get through, because experience tells me that every time that I'm going live, there is a little bit of a pause in the beginning, and then roughly after half a minute, it actually kicks in. Today I'm a little late. I have a lot going on, frankly. But it's okay, that's life. Things are happening, and I won't go into the details of what exactly is happening because that's personal matters. But I have to say that with what's going on, I have to once again, I'm wondering once again how things are related and in what a bizarre way. Life is amazing. I gotta say, life is truly amazing. Recently, let me put it this way, I won't name any names, I won't reveal any personal information because it's really personal stuff. I asked for help, and I know who I'm praying to. So I've asked for help with intent. Then I saw a dream, and in that dream, amazing things happened. Ayush Kumar say, hey, Catherine, how are you doing? Wonderful. I'm late today. I'm still kind of not hitting on all cylinders, but I'm here. Thank you very much for showing up. How are you doing? Mr. Wren! Hello, Kat. Hello, Mr. Wren. I'm happy to see you. So, guys, I'm telling an amazing story. It happened in the span of these last 10 days. So, it has to do with personal information, so I can't reveal what's actually going on, but I can reveal the baseline of what's happening. So about 10 days ago, I've asked for help, and I know who I'm praying to, let's say. No, it's not a Christian God, just in case you were wondering. I'm good, and how about you? So then I see a dream. Several days later, I see a dream, which is absolutely crazy, an absolutely crazy dream. Then next day after that dream, a person reaches out to me, way out from Russia, a lawyer. And we have a conversation. It turns out that there is a whole lot of things that need to be solved, and this has to do with lifelong issues that needs to be resolved. So all of a sudden I'm on this, and it all happens right after that dream that I saw, which is bizarre. And then all of it seems to pan out in such a way that, the things that I asked for, the kind of movement and change that I was asking for in life, it all starts to come true. First I saw a dream, and now real life events start to happen, and I'm just kind of blown away by what's going on. But, it means that I have a lot of things to do, not so very pleasant things, paperwork and this and that and blah, blah, blah. It's all very annoying and boring. I hate doing this, but it has to be done. However, that's interesting. How does this work? I don't know. I'm just sharing how amazing life can be. That's what I wanted to say. Guys, Mr. N, I'm taking a stab at crab dip for the first time. What is a stab at crab dip? I have no idea what that is. I'm good, and how about you? Well, waking up, sort of. It's a rainy day today, it's overcast, and I struggled to wake up. I was seeing another weird dream, whatever. My favorite pastime, go get some sleep and see some weird dreams. That's why I don't watch Netflix. It is about surrendering your Russian citizenship. No, it is not about, that's the whole thing. It's not about surrendering the citizenship. It has to do with property. It has to do with rectifying my status in Russia. It has to get resolved, but there is a chance that the Russian authorities will have to validate my gender marker. They will, it looks like, I don't know. It all depends on the general consulate in New York, the Russian general consulate in New York here in the United States. The way they will decide this, I don't know. But if this gets resolved, this is like huge, because that's one of the things that I was trying to, I was, fighting with Russian authorities for, I don't know, since 2006, roughly, for the past 20 years, trying to get the right gender marker and trying to get, on the Russian side, trying to get the desired name and all of this. And when I was leaving Russia in 2019, I thought that, that's it. It didn't pan out. It's never going to happen. Bye-bye, and all these things. And all of a sudden now things are coming in motion. It has to do with, my registration in Russia, this kind of things. Things come in motion, and that implicates that I have to rectify my, my Russian documents as well. So all of these things come in motion. It's, to me, it's huge, because there's a couple of problems that I couldn't solve all of my life. And now all of a sudden it's moving. It's super weird. Just taking a try. Just taking a try is all. Lol. I love seafood. I see what you mean. I see what you mean. Yeah, I love seafood. I'm a huge fan of fish, by the way. Do you like fish? But how did they find out you are a US citizen now? Well, because I have siblings. I have 3 brothers who live in Moscow, in Russia, and a father who is alive, and we're all registered at the same address in Moscow, and there are some issues that need to be resolved with that. So the lawyer reached out to my siblings, and then, I'm in touch with one of my brothers. So this brother reaches out to me and he says, oh my God, this and that is going on. Can you talk to this lawyer? So yeah, this is a lot going on. Yesterday I was stressed out big time. Oh, you love fish? Yeah, I'm a huge fan of fish. Recently, I don't remember when was the last time that I ate meat, actually, just because my husband discovered that they sell Pollock at Walmart locally. Gosh, I have one of the cats who is galloping all over the place. And I love Pollock a lot. So I'm kind of on Pollock right now. I have a Pollock chapter. So that's how they found out that I'm a US citizen. Well, I mean, my brothers know that I'm a US citizen. They just don't know the intricate details, that I am naturalized, and all of these things. I've personally been trying to cut down on red meat consumption. Why were you trying to do this? I'm just curious. I'm not judging or anything. It's not that I'm deliberately trying to cut down on red meat consumption. I love red meat. And frankly, I can't live without meat or fish or poultry. I need something, because if there is no meat, I'm just deficient. But meat is expensive. And sometimes I just prefer fish. Sometimes I don't want red steak. Sometimes I just want, fish. And that's what it is. Oh my, digestion issues. Oh, Mr. N, I'm sorry. It's a complicated topic. I don't know what to tell you, because it varies in everybody's individual case. Oh no, I don't think he should have told them. Oh, I eat way too much. I love steak and burgers. Oh, I see. So you love them, but it's digestion issues. I see. I don't think he should have told them. Ayush Kumar, I'm trying to figure out what do you mean by this? I mean, you mean about the US citizenship? Well, I mean, he kind of has to, because it has to do with legal issues. Well, not issues. There are things that need to be rectified on the territory of Russian Federation. And here's the thing that a lot of people don't know. I don't know if you guys know this. This is how it works between Russia and the US. So according to Russian federal law, I'm viewed only as a citizen of Russia, regardless of where do I go. It doesn't matter to the Russian authorities that I am a US citizen. It doesn't matter when I acquire Greek citizenship, or if I acquire, Namibian citizenship or French citizenship. They don't care. To them, I'm always going to be a Russian citizen. But some countries, like the United States, they recognize dual citizenship. You see what I mean? So hence, there are some discrepancies. So Ayush Kumar, if you meant my brother, well, he kind of had to tell me about what's going on, because it's kind of really important and it concerns me too. I just didn't see this coming. It's such a peculiar twist of events, and God, and I just saw a dream literally the night before, which was so accurate. You know what I mean? And we're just talking about dreams, about lucid dreaming, about vivid dreams. We're just talking on one of the live streams, a few live streams ago, remember? Got it now. I was comparing it to India. India does not allow any dual citizenship. You lose your Indian citizenship as soon as you become citizen somewhere else. Wow. That's interesting, because you don't automatically lose, I don't automatically lose my Russian citizenship when I become a citizen of another country. You see what I mean? They don't strip my citizenship rights away, unless I explicitly want to revoke my citizenship, which I haven't done. You know what I mean? But more than that, the United States does not require, when you're getting naturalized, the United States does not require of you to dispose of your old citizenship, which is also cool, I think. That's what it is. I will never give up on seafood. I won't ever give up on seafood either. Oh, I'm also a huge fan of shrimp. Not just me, but my eldest cat, Dean. He's a huge fan of shrimp. Yep. So, guys, I was going on for like 20 minutes, 12 or 13 minutes about all of these things. Oy. Pardon me. It's just something that's going on right now, and it's kind of a little overwhelming. And I was telling my husband yesterday that I would take, in place of 2 hours of bureaucracies, legalese, blah, 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 trying to figure these things out, which is extremely stressful. Guys, I can't tell you how much it's just so draining. Paperwork, have to do an apostille of this, how to fill out this form, put a signature here, and all of this. I feel depleted after 2 hours of this. I'd take 12 hours nonstop of painting any day of the week. You know what I mean? And that would be fine. But this stuff just bakes my brain, frankly. I love fishing. Oh, I don't like eating fish, but my dog does, so I go fishing for him. Ayush Kumar, so that's so kind of you, really. I love fishing. Catfish nuggets and rockfish nuggets are so good. Wow, you guys are actually fishing. I don't even know how to fish. I never fished. In Russia, and I've lived most of my life in Russia. In Russia, this is mostly an activity for men, so I just never got into that for obvious reasons. Paperwork, yes, is extremely annoying. It's, plus it's kind of, the lawyer is in Russia, and we have this 8-hour time difference, so everything is sort of messy and across time zones, and it's just, I was so happy to go and paint yesterday, to just paint. Go to Walmart and get your fishing license and poles and some worms, then go to any public lake and fish. It requires time, and hey, I have a bike standing here in the corner of my garage, And in the past month, I can't find a friggin' half an hour to get on the bike and take a ride down the road. That's how bad it is. What's up? I joined Beef Kima. Hey, Catherine, what's up? I joined your last stream. How are you doing? Oh, how are you doing? I'm doing fine. I'm doing fine. I'm just a little overwhelmed, sitting here sharing some news from what's going on. Still blown away a little bit. Hopeful. So, how are you doing? Ayush Kumar says, "Oh my God, 2 stops, 1 Walmart, 2 Lake." Yes, I know, and yet, yeah. My dad definitely got me into fishing. Lol. He's not too happy I'm trans and dating a guy, but it is what it is. Well, that's life. I do have some masculine hobbies. I'm a computer nerd at my heart. Oh, about hobbies. Guys, here is one thing I want to share with you. This is like, I don't know, why do I want to do this? I don't know. You're talking about fishing, right? Here is one thing. Now, first of all, I'm doing music, I'm painting, I'm writing, I'm doing all these things. And the only thing that I have for a hobby so far is jigsaw puzzles, which is fine. I found a website, jigsaw puzzle web.net, whatever, don't remember. So you can upload a picture and you can assemble a puzzle online. And because I don't have time, so I end up trying to assemble a jigsaw puzzle, as a break from other activities. And, that's it. But currently, I am doing a walkthrough of one of my old favorite games, and that the game is called Severance Blade of Darkness. It's an old RPG from the year 2001. I don't know if you guys know this game. I love this game so much. It's so dark. It's so dark. It's a slasher sort of action game, and there are 4 characters that you can pick from, and my favorite character is an Amazon. She's a lady. Her name is Zoe, and she uses pole arms and pole axes, like spears and halberds and this sort of thing. Severance, Blade of Darkness. Blade of Darkness. It was released by, who released it? 2001, Rebel Act Studios. Blade of Darkness. Wonderful game. I love it. I love it so much. It's a little clunky, but I played it over the years so many times, and now I'm just doing a walkthrough again. So my character has these pole arms, halberds and spears and naginatas and this kind of thing. So yesterday, I went online, and I'm like, let me find, if you can actually find, double-edged spear or something online. And sure enough, I come across a website. I bought my machete. I have a machete hanging in my office, which I bought from this site. What is it called? medievalcollectibles.com, something like this. So I'm contemplating getting myself a spear, 89 inches long, with a tipped head. So it has an actual blade, a steel blade. It's tipped, so it has like leafed, whatever the term is, has like 2 little leaves. And I don't know, I want to do some practice with the spear. Some moves, some stuff like this. Because something in me wants to do this. Speaking, Samir B7E says, "Are you lesbian?" No, I'm not lesbian. Thank you. No, I'm not lesbian. But so you're talking about activities, masculine activities, right? And rather than fishing, I want to do something like this. I don't know. I mean, fishing might be very cool. I love fish. I love eating fish. I love cooking fish. But deep down, I want to do stuff like this. I want to do some action. Hello from Texas. Olivia Marcia says, hello to you. Olivia, nice to see you here on my stream. Samir says, Samir is laughing. Why are you laughing? What is there to laugh about? How old are you? Well, I don't think that's any of your business how old I am. Pete says, hello. Hello, Pete. I'm glad to see you on my live stream. And thank you guys for the likes, by the way. How about hunting then? Maybe, but I love animals a lot. We have raccoons and possums that occasionally show up here, and my husband hates them. He's like, why don't you just scare them away? Go hit them with something. I'm like, I don't want to hit them. They're adorable creatures. I don't want to hurt them. I just want to kind of, show them their way and let them go. You know what I mean? So I'm not sure that I would want to hurt an animal per se. If an animal attacked me, then sure, I would defend myself, But deliberately going after an animal, no, I don't feel like it. I don't know. So about hunting, and see, here's the thing. I think maybe genetically I have some traits in me of a hunter or something like this, because my grandfather, he was a sniper and he was a hunter. He was a sniper during World War II, and he was a damn good sniper. He went all the way from Moscow to Berlin in infantry. He was very good at these things. He took me to the woods when I was there a little for mushroom hunting, me and my mom, and I learned about being very respectful to nature, being very respectful to the forest and to all the creatures that live in the forest, and behaving myself in an appropriate way in the woods. So I owe it to my grandpa. But he did teach me hunting, and we were mushroom hunting. He wasn't going after animals, but the woods that we went to, they were pretty far from Moscow. We used to take a train and then a bus, and then we had to travel on foot through a couple of villages, and there were some woods. And in those woods, back in those days, and it was 80s, mid-80s, there lived boars, actual wild boars. So my grandpa, he used to take a knife with him just in case. And sometimes in the woods, we came really close to wild boars or to, what do you call them? Gosh, what do you call this huge guy? Gosh, there is a deer and then there's the big guy. It's on the tip of my tongue. Can't remember. When I remember, I'll tell you. How about hunting? The animals need a place to live. Yes, they do. Place like forest, yes. Moose, there you go, moose. Like I said, I'm not hitting on all cylinders yet. Probably need another coffee. Yes, the moose. We walked into a moose when I was a little kid. My grandpa went first. Mom went second. I was third behind, and I was like 6 years old. I was behind mom. And all of a sudden, grandpa stops and kind of nudges mom to back off. And we backed out quietly, respectfully. And I didn't even know at the time what happened. And then later I realized, asking mom, what was that? When we were in the clear, mom was like, there was a moose. So grandpa told me to be very respectful to wildlife and to everything that lives in the forest, to the forest itself, to the trees, to respect the quiet, because the way he explained it to me, he said, you are a guest, so when you come here, be respectful. Don't swear, don't cuss, or you will get lost. Or you will, fall over, or you will hurt yourself, or something might happen. So act accordingly. And I trusted my grandpa, of course, I was a little kid, but I think he knew something about something because, he was doing mushroom hunting and hunting, and he had seen a lot in his life. He was a World War II veteran. He knew things. So I didn't have any reasons to question the authority of my grandpa. And so ever since then, I feel like I don't want to go after animals because I respect them and I love them. If there is an animal who encroaches, I would rather try to fend it off. I wouldn't want to kill it necessarily. I certainly would not hurt or hunt an animal for fun. That to me is despicable. If I had to survive, if I was like my life depended on this, well, then I would have to hunt. And that's the only scenario when, I would see it as appropriate. But doing this for fun, no, that's horrible. I wouldn't do this. How about combat sports then? Judo, taekwondo, karate, etc. I would, like I said, I would practice things with pole arms. And I know that there are reconstructors, what do you call them? Reconstruction stuff, historic reenactment, this kind of thing. I would certainly get into this. My old friend from Moscow, she's a girl, now she's a mom. She's a little younger than me. Back in the early 2000s, she was heavily into reenactment. She had her own armor. She was like into medieval reenactment. She had her own sword, shield, equipment, all of this. She visited these camps. She participated in these events, etc., etc., etc. Some of those people that she was hanging out with, they participated in, like historic movies when they need people for, combats, this kind of thing. So if there was a sport, if I could get into that, I would get into that, certainly. Just because it's a lot of fun, it's exciting, it's a sport, actually, that requires of you to move, and I think it's good activity for the brain as well. And that's just something that appeals to me, There's also kendo. Kendo, what is kendo? I'd have to look it up. I know about judo and taekwondo and karate. I certainly know about this, yes. I did, back when I was 20, I actually used to do some boxing. When I was, I wasn't 20. I was 18, 19 years old. I was in the army. And so that was sort of a little entertainment that we had. So I tried to do some boxing. But the thing is that because of my physique, I never could actually build up a lot of mass. I'm very lightweight. And the guys that I was with there in the army, they were much bigger than me. So I didn't have much luck with this. But those were the days when I was trying to kind of push myself towards being more masculine and trying to bulk up and trying to, kind of this stuff. Nowadays, however, I would do boxing. I was actually going to buy me some gloves and a sandbag just for, for practice and for muscle tone, for speed, for this kind of things. I love this sort of thing, to be able to fight or to react quickly to things. Maybe it's a thing about like fast reaction sports, something like this. So maybe martial arts is something for me. I don't know. Maybe. I see 4 people are watching there. Mr. Ren, are you still there? Or are you eating? What are you eating there? Oh, I also love hiking and working on my motorcycle. Guys, I missed some of your comments. I'm sorry. Oh, you have a motorbike. Right. I don't have a motorbike. I wish I had. Hopefully, when I move to Greece, I'll have a scooter. I think it's going to be a lot handier than a car, actually. But once again, Mr. Ren, if you happen to drive through Kentucky on your motorbike, feel free to, tell me about this. Stop by. Let's hang out. All right? Now I know that you eat fish. Maybe I'll cook some. Pete says hello. Pete S1. Yes, Pete, hello. George's Corner. Okay, message retracted. Okay, message retracted. It is what it is. So a lot of things are going on, and yeah, I'm talking about martial arts, talking about that I would like to get into something like this. And simultaneously, it's not like I have nothing else to do. It's like I'm literally struggling to schedule my time so that I'm in time to do things. Um, Gosh, I feel like I don't spend enough time painting. I can't get my current single fast tracked. I'm sitting on this for more than a month already. It's like 2 months already. When was the last time that I released a single? So I kind of need to work on music, and I'm working on it little by little, but that's too slow for me. You know what I mean? And then I'm also, planning out the characters for my book, um, and starting to plan the book. And that will require me to write every day, you know? So it's not like I don't have anything to do, but maybe I'm just a little overwhelmed, and maybe I just want something for myself. So maybe I feel like I want to buy me that spear and just have fun with it, Just exercise, just swing it, learn some moves, um, and just enjoy it, and then I'll see where it takes me. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe I just need a new activity to, for fun. Maybe that's what it is. And then we'll see. Speaking of the book, I don't know if I'm going to publish an article tomorrow. I am sort of divided on this because last week I published that last article, and basically that's where the musical album ends. So now I'm at the stage where I actually need to sit down and start writing the book and planning all of this. And I don't want to give any spoilers, because if I start, I can't write my book in WordPress articles, all of it, because then it's a major spoiler, So now I'm sort of wondering, what am I going to do? Am I just going to write an article, a generic one, and kind of describe the world or something like this and what's going on there? Or no? I don't know. I kind of have to decide today and start working and continue working on the plan for the book. Oy. Message retracted. Gosh, I even forgot that it is Tuesday today. So I don't know. I guess these recent days, I don't know where my mind is, really, all over the place probably. I'm working on a new painting. I probably said something about it previously. It's called Mary Ola Klocka Coma. There is an old man in a red suit with a white beard. He's on a hospital stretcher, and he's in coma, in a diabetic coma. And my character, Iya, the trans girl, Iya, and the serpent, they come across this hospital room with that stretcher and that strange man on that stretcher. And they're wondering if he's dead or alive. So it's kind of a Christmas themed painting, but I had this wild idea, and I was really upset about how sugary foods are in the US here, and how many unhealthy foods are there, how generally speaking food is so unhealthy, the ultra processed foods, and what does that lead to, and the propaganda of high carbs food, of sugary foods, all of this. I was upset with this for a while. And so, eventually, this fall I had this idea for this painting. And of course, it's a rag on several things, this painting, but, and maybe some people won't like it, which is natural. Probably a lot of people won't like it, but some people might find it satirical. and to the point. We'll see. So that's the painting that I'm working on right now. Finally. Today I'm going to make a post when we're done here. I'll post to my community tab this painting in this frame. Remember I was talking a couple of live streams ago about these wooden frames? I just decided that I would give you a close-up of what it looks like. Well, with such lighting, of course. The lighting is not perfect, but whatever. Look, I got little caps here, ammo caps, screws, casings they're called, bullet casings. This is what it looks like, this little painting. Another handcrafted frame. Deliberately, it's made, it's kind of rough, it's kind of rustic, right? And rugged. So it's sort of polished and it's stained and it has lacquer on it, but it is deliberate. I wanted to keep this aesthetic of it being somewhat rugged. Just wanted to show you guys. And here's another frame, different type of frame. This is a street in Nice. You can find this painting in my store with better lighting. It has some gold paint on here, on the inner side of the frame, these corners. And that's what it looks like on the back. So this is a wood panel and there's canvas on it. There's a hanger in the back. Again, handmade frame, handcrafted. And the thing about this painting is that it has two canvases which are overlapping. I wanted to experiment with bits of leftover canvas. I wanted to construct something out of them. And so I put together these two bits of canvas, and it looks like, when you look at the painting, it looks like there is something, as if you're looking through a window. That's the effect. So this is the other frame and the other painting. On live streams, I have this rare opportunity to actually show things like this without making a special video about a painting, without making a special short about, hey, look at this frame, this is what it looks like. Here on the live stream, I can actually pick, a painting off the wall and show it what it looks like. You know what I mean? So, of course, I have to do it. 5 people are watching. Now, I don't know who is watching, but, and it's kind of in the middle of this live stream, to those who are just showing up or to those who have just joined, I have to introduce myself because, there are people who are not even subscribed to me. So I'm Catherine Corelli. I am a singer-songwriter, and I am a painter, an oil painter, and a writer nowadays. And I want to invite you to check out my channel. See for yourself what I have. I have paint-throughs, I have art, I have music, lots of music. And if you like my content, stick around, subscribe, enable all notifications, and every Tuesday, I hope that I'll be able to adhere to the schedule. Every Tuesday at 4 EST, at 4 Eastern Time, I'm doing these Tuesday live streams where I'm just sitting and chatting to people, talking, kind of freely speaking my mind, and inviting people to ask me questions. If anybody has a question to ask, you want to talk about something, and so long as it is within the confines of, YouTube's rules, I don't want to get banned for anything, ask me questions, and let's have a conversation. Sometimes, by the way, we have wonderful conversations here about spirituality, about society, about art, about hobbies, about activities, about music. So questions are very welcome. And of course, every week I'm sitting here and I have to share what's going on. You know, what news do I have? Where am I with my book? Because that's like a huge project that I'm working on right now, and I'm trying to give some updates to those who are interested, of course. And if you just want to see what do I do, you can always just click over to my community tab, and I post daily. I share videos, I share photos of my paintings with links to my Etsy store, so you can go there and you can check out what do I have there. Music updates, I usually share that. Currently, I'm working on the next single. Don't ask me when am I going to release this. I don't know. I'm working on it. And WordPress links. It's in the community tab. So, you know, if you want to go and find out what am I writing about, go check out my WordPress blog. Go to the community tab, scroll down a little bit, and there should be a WordPress link from last week. Mr. N says, I would be interesting to hear your religious or more spiritual beliefs. What does Kat think the purpose of this reality is? Big question, but it would be interesting. Well, there is only one deity that I believe in. Only one God. And it's a she. Let's put it this way. To me, this being is our planet, Mother Earth. I don't know how do they call it. I was looking this up recently. These are my natural beliefs. It's not that someone taught me this or someone told me to believe this. No, these are my natural beliefs. I naturally came to these conclusions because I've looked for a while at Christianity, and certainly when I was growing up, my dad was trying to make a Christian out of me, and it didn't sit with me really. I looked at other religions, and Zoroastrianism is close to me. I like some ideas from there, some ideas, like the pursuit of truth, for example, and the flame of truth. I love it a lot. And it's an ancient belief system. But ultimately, I think I fall into the category of, what is it called? Gaiaism, Mother Earth, and animism, some sort of blend. Because to me, Mother Earth, this planet, this is the deity, the ultimate deity. And it doesn't even require any proof because, we're all alive because of it. We don't know how life originated, at least science doesn't know it so far, but we're all definitely part of the same huge body. Again, naturally, I tend to see living things like animals and plants and elements even as manifestations of this living spirit. Call it what you will. The Great Mother, the High Goddess, Mother Earth, I don't know. The name doesn't really matter. When I'm thinking about this, I think of like this Great Mother. And we're all part of it, the way I see it. So, the animals and me, myself, and all of it. So it's this kind of belief system. Oh, you say from different timelines. I used to think I was an atheist, but I never really felt like I was an atheist completely because I'm an artist. And when you're an artist and you have a lifelong experience of seeing dreams, very strange dreams, and you have spiritual experiences in those dreams. I don't attend church. I never attended church. It's not my thing. So I've never been part of any religious community, really. And even though I thought when I was a teenager that I'm an atheist, I don't believe in all that, stuff, I still felt some spiritual underlying things, motifs, running within me. And it sort of changed over time because I looked into ancient Sumerian gods and some of it appeals to me. I still think of it like Mother Earth is the goddess. But then the way I tend to see individual manifestations, I see them as spirits or lesser gods who serve the Great Mother, this sort of stuff. I guess it's polytheism, I don't know. Or polytheism under one deity, what is that? Monotheism with polytheism underneath. I don't know how to describe this. I don't even know the appropriate language. I'm not a specialist on these things. I just believe, I just experience, I just live it. You know what I mean? Had spiritual experiences, went high as a kite. I've never been high as a kite. I just had this. I have some dreams which would make some people wonder if I'm using something. I'm not using anything. I just experience things. Now, let me read. It would be a big question, but it would be interesting. I borrow a wide range of beliefs from multiple religions, including Gnosticism, Buddhism, and other faiths. Yeah, I understand what you mean, yeah. This reality is weird for sure. Sometimes I think deja vu is just remembering this life, but from different timelines. Might be. It's a question we've been just discussing with my friend the other day about what is it actually? Is it a genetic memory of past generations? Is it, what is it? Is it from past lives? And then I have these huge questions. I don't know, where do we go, really, when we die? Or where do we go when we sleep? When we dream, when we have these experiences? Do we strictly operate within these 4 dimensions, or is there another dimension where our souls live? I don't know. It might sound a little silly and it might sound a little naive, but would I have not had the experience of thinking of something and then that thing happening or materializing in a form, in some amazing form in my life? I would, I would have dismissed a lot of things as, well, that's just gibberish. It's just, whatever, wishful thinking and magical thinking. No, it's not magical thinking. Something is going on. Reality is a lot more complex than science can explain, and it is way more complex than Christianity explains. Christianity doesn't explain anything. I don't know, probably I don't know if I want to share this video. Just listened to it yesterday with my husband. It basically analyzes the origins of Christianity, and it's a very interesting, revealing video about, okay, I won't spoil it. But there is a reason why I always had a problem with organized religion. I never could trust it. I always wanted to go straight to the source. I always felt that the source, that I don't need intermediaries. I don't need a middleman. And nobody needs, frankly. Nobody needs. It's really that close. Yesterday I was sitting by the fire pit after this long, stressful conversation, and I was winding down, and I just put my hand on the ground into the wet soil, and I don't need a middleman. Here it is, right here under my hand. Now let me read again, Mr. N. Had spiritual experiences, yes. While high as a kite, I believe we may have already experienced the lives we live, but just in different ways. Each iteration of life is similar but different in ways big and small. It might be. And that's another possibility. Again, you can't prove it, and I don't know. But it's an interesting way to see it. My reasoning is that if you can happen once, you can happen again. Even if the universe ends, it's believed another universe will be created again, another Big Bang. I find it totally feasible. I think it might be. I think it very well might be. And I understand the reasoning underneath this, because I also think, it's not that I think, it's rather that I feel deep within that if something happens somewhere and it naturally occurs, there has to be, first of all, there has to be a reason for this, because nothing is really random. I mean, like you look at nature, every little thing you look at every little tiny plant that is there, every tiny little microbe, whatever, all of it has purpose and meaning, and all of it exists for a reason. Even the stuff that is toxic or poisonous to us or dangerous to us humans, it has a reason to exist. Therefore, we too have a reason to exist. I mean, that's kind of the natural logic, right? Makes sense. And so if it happened, if it is happening now, why not assume that it happened before? I mean, that stands to reason too. At least in the natural world, it would stand to reason. If you see a tree right now, there's probably a tree that grew before. It probably could have been a different tree, but you know what I mean. And with the trance experience too, I was rather unsurprised. Don't remember when was I doing this research, a while ago probably. I was rather unsurprised to discover that trans people existed way back in antiquity, in ancient times. They were called different names, they served a purpose in society, in different societies, you know, priesthood or whatever, it depends, but they existed. We've existed all of this time. It's not a modern thing, even though in modern times there is, you know, a huge spin that is put on this, and it is being presented as if this is like, oh, you know, something modern. No, it isn't. It's part of human nature. It's part of the human condition, I guess, and like many other things. So I don't know. But anyways, talking about this belief system, to me, that's the ultimate goddess, this planet, Mother Earth. And I have to say that it gives me a certain sense of calm within, and a strong sense of belonging and safety, because I know that no matter what happens to me, in the end, I'm going to return back to the earth. We're all came from the earth, and we all, when we die, I think we are all going to go back into the earth. The questions, however, that I have and I don't have answers for, I can only speculate, is what happens to our souls? Is there sort of a unified field where our souls go? Is it like a fifth dimension sort of thing? And then I don't know, I'm thinking through, and I'm struggling with these thoughts for years. I don't have a definitive answer, and I don't know what to believe. I naturally want to believe in reincarnation, but then I have to check myself and be like, well, do I want to believe in reincarnation because I fear death? Well, I certainly fear death as a human being, you know, but on some level I sort of don't, because I know that this will be just the end, and I fear more not fulfilling my purpose, not doing what I'm supposed to do, not living an authentic life, not getting where I'm supposed to get, not creating the things that I'm supposed to create. If I just don't do all of these things, then I would waste my life. And I see life as a gift, a miracle, you know, and it happens all the time, you know. All of these miracles are all around us, you know what I mean? Every childbirth and every lived experience, like you, Mr. N, and Ayush Kumar, you know, it's a miracle that you guys exist. All of it is a miracle and a gift of life. And so it can't be wasted. It can't be wasted on stupid things. I can't waste myself. I have to do the things that I feel the calling for, and that's mandatory. And I believe that as long as I follow that path, defined for me by Mother Nature, I guess, by this planet, so long as I stay there, I don't get too arrogant. I can't get arrogant. And I, you know, do things right. And I listen to the universe. So long as I do that, I'm going to be fine. And then, you know, my time will come and I will have to go, and I will go. There's a sense of calm underneath all of this. You know what I mean? So, but is there reincarnation or not? Is it a cyclical thing that maybe there is a school of thought that says that actually we pick our parents because that encompasses the set of challenges that we will be exposed through in a given life. It's a school of thought. I don't know. I'm contemplating these things. I don't know if that is true. It might be, because things are evolving in the universe constantly. So why not assume that a human soul would have to evolve too and get refined through multiple reiterations within, being reborn in a new time, in a new family, as a new kid. And then you have to remember yourself eventually. You have to come to certain realizations. You have to live through certain things. Your soul has to get refined, and then you die again. And then at some point, I don't know what happens. But I mean, I don't have a definitive answer. But that's kind of how I think about it. I have these ideas that it might be this way, and all of it might be false. Maybe it's just my imagination. Maybe it's an irrational coping mechanism within me, which I don't even understand or don't even realize. A coping mechanism built into my human software to suppress the fear of death. Could this be true? Yes, it could be. After all, we as humans, we're still animals to a certain extent, and we naturally fear death. We don't want to die. We want to live. So, but we're sophisticated creatures, we're very sophisticated, and our brains are so evolved, and we have all these fantasies, and we have abstract thinking, and these long-term memory, short-term memory. We have the things that animals don't have. Well, some animals have some of these features, but we're way sophisticated. So maybe there is also a possibility that it might be a human trait to make up these complex concepts to kind of fool yourself and to reduce the fear of death. It might be the case too. We can never know for sure. I wonder why a God would keep us from knowing what would happen after we die. There are a lot of interesting questions about the design of this universe. Well, if it's Mother Earth who tries us to, if it's about the planet, if this ultimate God is the planet, our planet, then the natural suppression mechanisms that we have within our psyche would only make sense. Otherwise, we would be all super freaked out and super anxious about dying every single day, and we wouldn't be capable of moving anywhere, progressing anywhere. What lies beyond this? Is there reincarnation? I don't know. Why do you need answers to every question? Just be patient. Amsterdam CR says. I don't necessarily need to find all the answers at once, Amsterdam. I don't actively try to answer each one of these questions. I let them sit. It's just that right now we're discussing this with Mr. N, and I'm trying to formulate some of this, or trying to rather illustrate how do I think about it. I'm trying to avoid getting caged within a solid set of ideas, or a belief system, because I fear that if I get too used to that, it will stifle my ability, my flexibility. You know what I mean? It's a danger of hard set beliefs. When you go in there and you start to believe it, you start to accept a whole multitude of ideas, and then you lose flexibility, and it's very reductionary. You know what I mean? So I know that there is Buddhism, that there is Zoroastrianism, for example, that there is animism, that there is this and this and this and that. but I am trying to keep an equal distance from all of it, and I'm just trying to feel things without rationalizing them too much, without boxing myself into a specific category so that I wouldn't find myself trapped in a belief system. You know what I mean? Because it's fun to ask questions. By the way you're speaking, I can tell you don't believe in Jesus. I'm not a Christian. That's true, I'm not a Christian. Now, this doesn't mean that I'm going to sit here and put down any religion, including Christianity. I'm not going to do this. I prefer to be respectful, but I'm also not propagandizing anything here. I'm just sharing my worldview. Good for you that you believe in Jesus. Not all of us here do, but we respect that. Yes, we respect this. Respect that we don't believe in Jesus. Yes. Your own opinions. Yes, it's totally fine if I think I actually call on people all the time throughout my life to be respectful towards each other's beliefs. Unfortunately, there is a lot of friction. Historically, there is a lot of bashing of other peoples and cultures for believing the wrong gods. And I think it's in the 21st century, this should actually start to come to an end. There are some people who want to still live in the Middle Ages, who want to go after the heretics, who want to, go on crusades and all this. That's backwards. That's crazy. So I prefer to be respectful, even though I might disagree. I might have a completely different worldview, but that's how I prefer to act, because I want people to respect my beliefs too. Oh, and in whichever case, Amsterdam, thank you for chiming in and hearing me out. You didn't have to. Actually, I've been here for a whole hour. Gosh, today was a weird stream. Started talking about one thing, then hopped over to the next thing, and now ended up talking about some very spiritual things. But that's the beauty of it. And Mr. N, thank you very much for asking these questions. Now, it has been an hour already, so I think I should be wrapping up this live stream. But I want to elaborate a little bit. Amsterdam, before I go. Amsterdam, earlier you said, why do you need answers to every question? Just be patient. The reason why I need... So you just think life on Earth is just a miracle or something. Yes, it is a miracle. I can't tell you, and science too doesn't know where did life originate from and why did it happen exactly at one point in time. I think it's a miracle. I don't think that it is necessary to even know exactly, when, how many billion years ago, how did this happen. But I don't see it. I can't see it otherwise, because to me, if I stop and think about it and I look around me, it's a miracle that this planet Earth has all of us on it alive, thinking about this, contemplating this even. The probability of this being, of us humans being so evolved on such a comfortable climate, such a comfortable Earth with such a favorable climate, God, this is so improbable. It's just from a probability viewpoint, this is like a super slim chance of this happening. Because if you start looking into the universe and you start looking, to other planets and what's going on there, and you look at, all the data from the stars, you find out that, we wouldn't be able to survive in any other environment. Like, it doesn't seem that there is any life out there on those other planets. It's a miracle. You know, maybe it sounds a little naive, maybe it sounds a little too buoyant to put it this way, but it is a miracle. And I think that I find tremendous inspiration and joy within the mere fact when I stop and think about it. When I think that my day is bad, when I think that my life sucks, you know, whatever, I stop and think for a moment that what a miracle it is that I'm even alive. I haven't been alive for billions of years. Now, I'm not sure if I had any past lives. I wasn't alive forever. Then, by some miraculous chance, I got born to my parents. You know, maybe not to the best parents, not in the best of circumstances, not at the best time, whatever, but I was born. And I had the miraculous chance to live to this day. That's a miracle in its own right. You know what I mean? And then, when my time comes, I will die and I will be gone forever. You know, it's very likely that I'll be gone forever. But between the forever in the past and the forever afterwards, I have this one little tiny piece of life, a gift. You know what I mean? And that's what matters. Isn't it a miracle? And I think a lot of people don't appreciate this. They don't realize how amazing it is. I know I might sound a little agitated about this, but I really am, because I think people who had a near-death experience or who were close there to the edge or saw death, they might understand me. It teaches you to value the simplest of things, the smallest of things. It needs to be made more apparent. Maybe. Oh, let me see. I'm missing something. So there must be a higher power that created this miracle. No, not necessarily. Do I support Palestine? Yes, I support Palestine. Of course I do. Is just a miracle or something? Yes. Kyung Gaming says, yes, I support Palestine. Yes. So there must be a higher power that created this miracle. Not necessarily. I mean, what is higher power? People live in this world temporarily. People live in this world to please God and explore the planet in space. Well, Samir, I don't know what God are you talking about. I've expressed my beliefs. You're free to have your beliefs. Improbable and impossible aren't the same thing, though. The universe is mind-numbingly big. Yes, it is. It's just the right distance from the sun, and we have oxygen, etc. It can't be a miracle. It must be created with a plan. No, it can be a miracle. Why? Why does it? I'm trying to wrap my head around your logic. I'm just entertaining your line of thinking. So you're saying, I'm not, bashing you or anything. I'm just trying to entertain your line of thinking. So just because it happens to be the right conditions, you think that it can't be a miracle. Just, I don't know, a freak accident. The perfect combination of circumstances that enabled certain molecules and certain chemicals to come together and start to form the first proteins, et cetera, and and eventually life evolved. In a way, yes, it's a miracle, but I don't know. To me, and to call this a miracle would be more appropriate than to imagine that there was some sort of force who was sitting there and cooking up all of this and deliberately putting things in place for this to be this and that. No, that's very hard for me to believe. It must be created with a plan. No, I disagree. That's where I disagree. Respectfully, because, that's another way of thinking about this. That plan needs to be made more private. Sometimes you don't need to think much, but just put your trust in God. This gives comfort. I think critically, and I prefer to think for myself. And I actually believe that if you want to call it divinity, Divinity is present, the divine is present in every human being. God, the Mother Earth, this goddess, the ultimate goddess, lives through each one of us. So, therefore, I believe that it is up to each one of us, up to every single individual, to find their path, to become self-aware, to become responsible, and to realize that it is upon them to decide. You can do good, you can do bad. You can have the capacity, the mental, intellectual, and moral capacity for inquiry, and you can think critically for yourself. And you can actively seek out the truth. And it's a quest, it's a lifetime quest. It never ends. Or you can delegate those things to an authority. But in that case, you run the risk of being duped. That's what I think. So I prefer to think critically and examine everything. Well, everything that really matters. Let's put it this way. So I don't just blindly trust. I wouldn't put my faith blindly in anything. I have to think about it. And sometimes I have to think deeply about this, and sometimes emotionally. And sometimes, obviously, because I'm human too, I was very silly. I was very stupid when I was a teenager, and I've done a lot of stupid. And then it took me time and life experience to learn about certain things and to start to see things from other angles. And that forced me to think critically at some point. I haven't been a wise ass my whole life. I've been mostly pretty silly, seriously. But putting my faith blindly into something, no. But that's me. It doesn't need to be more apparent. You just got to be patient and believe in the plan. No. But, here's where we differ. This is your way of thinking. That's a different school of thought. And I believe this. People live in this world temporarily. People live in this world to please God. Okay. That's another view. I assume you live in the US. Your country is built by Christian values. It is the cause of the quality of life you're living today. Amsterdam, I don't want to touch this topic. First of all, I'm an immigrant. I'm originally from Russia. So I come from a mostly Russian Orthodox background, but I still did not become a Christian. And I come here to the United States. I experienced Western Christianity is something completely different. Okay, I don't want to go into that too much, but let's just say that seeing this other side of things and understanding more about society, about colonialism, about civilizational divides, about the Eastern civilizations, about the Western civilizations, about history, about the origins of religious beliefs and teachings, and indoctrination by governments, empires, etc., 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 etc. The complexities of it, as it relates to things that are happening today, right now, in this world, in the real world, which involves geopolitics, which involves big conflicts that are going on. I had to understand all of this because, throughout my lifetime, mostly I was pretty far from all of this. I was just, I just wanted to be an artist. I just wanted to paint and do music and not concern myself with difficult topics of geopolitics or social sciences or structures of societies and how do they function. But I had to understand this because I had a rude awakening when I immigrated to the United States. And all of my previous beliefs, everything that I thought I knew about the Western world, everything that I thought I knew about the United States, all of that got shattered. Welcome to reality. This is when I started to learn about how propaganda works and what is the intent of these things. And then also in the past years, proxy war in Ukraine happened, the special military operation, the way we Russians call it. And I had to understand, why is this going on? Because I lost friends there. I lost friends in Ukraine and I lost friends in Russia. Now they wouldn't talk to me, you know? So because I lost real people, I had to understand what's going on. So I started digging, and the deeper I dug, the more I learned and the more disturbed I was. And the more disturbed I was, the the more this picture unraveled in front of my eyes. And I had to kind of, make sense of it. It's difficult work. And I was doing this heavy lifting, digging in, observing things critically, learning new things, learning the bigger picture, the smaller picture, the medium picture, all over the place for the past 5 years. I had no other choice but to go down that path and educate myself in these matters. So where I am right now, I do understand that there's a lot of manipulation going on all over the place. Let's just leave it there. There's a lot of manipulation. You believe the God? I believe in Mother Earth. That's my only God, and it's a she. Well, I don't know. It's a she and a he at the same time. This planet, that's my only God. Why you believe in a religion? You must know why you believe in it and what is the evidence to believe in. Well, I walk the earth every day. That's my evidence, and that's why I believe in this. Yeah, and I'm Armenian Orthodox, so I know what you're talking about. Oh, you know what I mean, Amsterdam. Deep respect to Armenian Orthodox. Some of my best friends when I was growing up were Armenians. The man who did a lot for me when I was a kid was Armenian. So it's amazing. So you're Armenian Orthodox. God, Armyansky, ты Armenian, да? It is going on because NATO keeps expanding towards, yes, exactly, towards Russia, even though they promise not to. Yes, precisely, you know it. And yes, we're exactly on the same page there. While we might not see eye to eye on, Christianity vs, my beliefs, whatever, but it looks like we understand each other perfectly in these questions. Now I'm wondering, why do you have a handle, Amsterdam? Why is this? But anyways, guys, I have to be wrapping this up. I've been here for an hour and almost 20 minutes. I usually do these live streams every Tuesday at 4 Eastern time, and I will show up next Tuesday at 4 Eastern time again. Prepare your questions. Let's have another interesting conversation. I want to thank everybody who joined, especially my regulars. Thank you very much. Thank you, Amsterdam CR, for showing up. Oh, you were born in Amsterdam. That's why. Oh, I get it. Okay, now I get it. Thank you for showing up. I really appreciate this. And we had, I think those were interesting questions, and it made me, think and try to articulate the things that I believe in a real-time format, and I like it. The Quran contains evidence that proves that it is truthful and from God. Written in the Quran are scientific words that humanity discovered only recently. This is sufficient evidence for any person. I see what you mean. I'd have to look into this, Farids. I won't claim that I am knowledgeable on Quran. I'm not. So I'll have to look into this. In whichever case, guys, I want to wish you a wonderful time of the day. Wherever you are, just try reading the Bible sometimes before bed, just one page at a time. Amsterdam, I did read the Bible. The Bible was read to me when I was a little kid, and throughout my life, I looked into the Bible. I read it again, and again, finding, by the way, a lot of discrepancies and discovering that, gosh, I don't want to go into this. It's a huge topic. All the things that the Christian church, the Catholics did, all the rewritings, all the careful exclusions, all the trimming, all the appropriating of things. It's a long story. I don't want to go into this here. I want to... No. That's the thing. It doesn't give me peace. It makes me question. When I look into this, it makes me question. It makes me want to examine the validity of these things. I have to then look and I have to inquire. So instead of giving me peace and just, it gives me the opposite. But it's not the same when you're an adult. I understand Amsterdam and read the Old Testament. I know. I occasionally look into these things. I read out passages. I think about this. Currently, I'm also examining Zoroastrianism because I'm interested. I'm interested in ancient civilizations as well. I'm interested in history and the Mediterranean region and the cultures that live there and how people evolved, ancient empires. I'm very interested in all of these things and I'm really trying to understand. So I do look into these things. You know what I mean? I promise, I will look into the scientific talk in the Quran. I have to look into this. Yes, I'm intrigued. I think you're a very analytic person, that's why. I don't know. Oh, Steph, you know what? I will ban you right now. Stop. Stop doing this. I don't like this. None of these race baits. I'm an artistic person. I'm very emotive. I'm emotion-based. But I have to protect myself so that my emotions don't take me in all sorts of directions. So I have to use my brain. So that's why I have to use critical thinking, and that's my best weapon. I have to think critically of things. Even the things that I want to believe in, even the things that I want to fall in love with, I have to examine them because my life experience tells me that just because I feel a pull towards something doesn't always mean that that's the right thing to do. It doesn't always mean that it doesn't guarantee a good outcome. It might be the stupidest thing to do. You know what I mean? I'm gonna go to sleep, got school tomorrow. Okay, Amsterdam. Have a wonderful day. We are looking for the truth and nothing more. Yes, Farids, I agree with you. That's what I'm looking for too. I'll have to look into this in the Quran. I promise I will. Now, guys, okay, thank you very much for being with me. I'm gonna wish everybody a wonderful time of the day, a wonderful night, whatever. Thank you very much, and you'll see me next Tuesday at 4 p.m. Eastern Time. Bring questions. Let's have an interesting conversation. Have a good... Yes, Mr. N, thank you very much. And you have a good one too. Bye-bye.